This is Rose Namajunas, and you're listening to WFAN's Outside the Cage podcast.
This is WFAN's Outside the Cage with your host, Ike Feldman. Obviously, Pete Hoffman's not in tonight. Sorry, folks. This is a special interview with Alexander the Great Volkanovski. I hope I said that right, because this dude will rip my head off. He's fighting at UFC Fight Night 110 in Auckland, New Zealand, headlined by Derek Lewis and Mark Hunt. Alexander, how you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Yeah, mate, you nailed that. You've done pretty well.
Thank you, man.
A lot of the Americans usually get it wrong, but mate, you smashed it.
Thank you, man. So anyway, how's the weight cut going? You know, in your last fight, you dominated your opponent at 155, and now I heard you're dropping down. We just spoke before this recording that you're dropping down to featherweight. How's the cut? What'd you have to change differently?
Yeah, no, the weight's going really good. The weight cut's going good. I'm obviously water loading, so I'm deep in fight week now. So, there's probably going to be interruptions of me going to the toilet mid-interview. Hopefully not. I should laugh. But
let it go, brother. Let it go.
It's going good, mate. It's going really good.
Nice, man. And obviously, we saw it looked like your footwork. I don't know too much about your striking background, your grappling background. Like I'm watching you grow. Watched your last fight only. And it seemed like your footwork was awesome. You faced a judo black belt. Obviously, he wants to grapple. And, dude, you had reversals. And it ended up you on top, I guess, doing a gift wrap, holding his wrist, pounding him out, getting the TKO win. Are people sleeping on your grappling? And are you worried if any fight goes to the ground?
It's a big part of the game. I love the MMA sort of side of like grappling. I obviously love my jiu-jitsu as well. But, I mean, that's the thing. That wasn't the plan in that fight. I honestly thought I was going to go out there and I wanted to keep it standing and get the knockout. But, I mean, once I grabbed a hold of him, especially being in the lightweight division, that's why and him being a jiu-jitsu guy, I thought, all right, probably best to keep it standing. But I grabbed a hold of him and I felt so much stronger than him. So once I got him down, I landed some of the, my ground and pound. I like to swing hard whenever I can, so
nice.
I started, giving it to him, and I thought, I'll stick to this, and it ended up working well for me.
And I saw you tweet about, the finishes that you're going for, I believe 13 out of 14, 13 out of 15. Is that something you look for? Because I heard Chael Sonnen, he goes, you either got two game plans. You're either trying to get the win or you're trying to get the knockout. Do you think about that going into the fight? Do you try to put on a fight for the fans, or do you wait for it to come naturally?
It's tricky. Obviously, I go out there to win, but it just so happens that my style is knocking them out, sort of thing. So, that's just how I am. So even if I try and, even if I tell myself, I'll play it safe, do this, do that, things will just end up falling into however it does, and it plays out, and I get the knockout anyway. But I guess that's just my style. I'm always looking for the finish, and I know everyone loves the finish, and that's exactly what I'm going to do come June 11th.
Love it, man. And, guys, again, the card is on FS1, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm awful with math. I don't know what time it is or what day it is in Australia or New Zealand. But you can find Alex Volkanovski on Twitter, AlexVolkanovski. All right, so, man, we have a lot of New York fighters on, obviously. Aljamain Sterling, Freddie Yank, Edgar, Chris Weidman, John Velati, a lot of local fighters. And do you feel pressure fighting close to your hometown? Because obviously you didn't feel pressure in your fight in Melbourne in November, but do you relish off the home crowd?
I don't get too nervous at all. I don't everyone talks about the UFC jitters as well, but the home crowd, I'm happy to fight in front of them, and I try to soak it up as much as I could, but I don't know. It's one thing that it's a good trait that I have. I just focus on what's in front of me. That's just how I am. I might be paying attention to the crowd, try and, work the crowd if I can. And then the next minute I'm in the cage, I'm just all of a sudden, don't forget completely about the crowd. But it's always good to fight there because the feeling after, you win, like say my last fight in Melbourne, getting a win, and then I could really focus and really hear the crowd go. That was a great moment. So that feeling's unreal after the fight, really. But before, I try and just focus on the fight.
Nice, man. And obviously, we talked to Robert Whitaker in the past. He says he likes fighting home. Megan Anderson, surprisingly, she says she kind of feels the pressure from the Australian fighters. And it's very interesting. Have you been in contact with Robert or Megan? Because now they're getting a lot of attention and bringing Australian fighters to the forefront of the MMA world.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're doing big things, and that's what I'm planning on doing as well. So I'm really, the UFC have got me on the main card again. This is my second fight, and they've both been on the main card. So
Oh, yeah.
I know the UFC are expecting big things from me, and that's exactly what they're going to get. And again, as you were saying, Robert Whittaker and Megan, both doing big things. And the MMA and UFC in Australia is really big at the moment because of them. So I thank them for that. But I'm going to be taking a piece of that pie as well and really get the crowd cheering for me as well.
Love it. And like you said, you're on the main card. You're the first fight on FS1, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark Hunt, Derek Lewis headlining. You're facing Mizuto Hirota, another Asian fighter. Dude, if you finish this guy, they might have to call you Godzilla.
That's exactly right. I don't know what they got against me, mate. I don't know what's going on. I don't know because I'm not choosing anyone, but they just keep giving me Japanese. This is my third Japanese fighter. And I've had a 100% success rate, so maybe they're trying to take that away from me. I don't know. I've got nothing against them. I've got a couple of mates, actually, Japanese mates, and they're like, oh, why you always fight Japanese guy? I've got to go against my countrymen. I was like, mate, what do you want me to do? I'm never calling no one. I'm the good guy. Everyone's calling me out.
It's great stuff, man. So say you come out, you get a first round or a second round finish. I know it's a ways away, but are you looking to maybe pop in to any U.S. gyms and maybe make it easier to look for a Vegas fight or a New York fight, something in the States?
Yeah, I'll do whatever I can. Like, obviously, we'll get the managers to look into doing something like that. And I was just there for the UFC retreat, actually, in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Just a couple of weeks ago. So it's I end up training at a gym there. But I mean, I would love to go over there and train. Obviously, the training in America is just top notch. So I'll definitely find my way there soon. And yeah, you might be right. Might be after this fight.
Nice, man. And speaking about the retreat, we had Chris Weidman on this episode, and Dana White was killing Chris because apparently he could have stopped the whole Cyborg Angela Magana situation, the whole punch. And I don't know if Chris was having a little too much fun, maybe one too many drinks, but Cyborg says, "You do not touch me, Mr. Weidman." And Chris moved out of the way. Did you see anything on your part? And overall, what was your experience with the retreat?
I missed the actual. Obviously, I knew about it straight after it happened, but I missed it originally. I wish I was there for it, but I got told about it, and got told that sort of how things went, and what was said before it, and so because supposedly she was like, oh yeah, anytime, anywhere, and then Cyborg's, oh, anytime, anywhere, huh? And then pow, but. I actually missed it, but yeah, straight after we knew about it, and then there was meetings and that, because a couple of things, you probably heard about a few things sort of went down. We've like the Reebok and stuff like that, but I won't get into that. I don't think I'm in any place to talk about that, but yeah, it was interesting, especially for me. I go in there and from Australia, and it was just crazy. The whole everything's just so professional, and then there was a couple of little moments when you're like, oh yeah, these are fighters, you know what I mean? So fighters are going to do their thing,
Dude, I was surprised. They said 500 fighters and only one scuffle heard about, but a lot of friggin' selfies. But again, we're joined by Alex Volkanovski on Twitter, Alexander the Great. He'll be fighting this Saturday, leading off the FS1 main card, Derek Lewis versus Mark Hunt, 10 p.m. Eastern. So, a couple more questions. I just went to Macedonia. I don't know if your manager told you this. For 2 weeks, I got married to my beautiful now wife. And, dude, I turned off my phone. I threw it away for 2 weeks. I promised I wouldn't check Twitter or anything. And I ended up to start talking MMA and fighting, talking about Stipe, the whole Croatian-Balkan connection. And I was just surprised at how worldly MMA is. And I know, do you have Macedonian descent? Is that correct?
Yes, I do. My dad's Macedonian and my mum's Greek. That's where I got the name Alexander the Great from, because he's exact same. His mum was Greek and his dad was Macedonian, and it was just, and a lot of my support comes from Macedonia. So it was a part of the decision why I decided to go with Alexander the Great. It just works so well with me. I'm not that. I was originally the Hulk, but that was when I used to play rugby league, and I was 97 kilograms. In pounds, that's about 210.
Wait. I had to work on this all vacation. That is, let's see, 205.
210. 205 93. So you could imagine, about 210. And now I fight at 145. So you could. I was a ball. I was pretty much just a round ball. Yeah, you got to remember, I'm only 5'5", 5'6", 5'6" on a good day. So I was, definitely a stocky type of guy. But that's where the Hulk come from. And there's so many Hulks out there, and obviously with my heritage and all that. And my first UFC fight, I changed it just before I made it UFC. It was either then or never. So that's when I made the decision to go Alexander the Great.
Dude, keep it rolling, man. I love baklava and pivo, which means beer for our non-Macedonian listeners. I swear they're all going to listen and download this. So have you been to Macedonia?
I haven't been there, but I'm definitely going to go there soon. I'm definitely going to go there.
Dude, in American dollars, a beer.
I love the food, that's for sure. After this fight, I'll be definitely getting some burek and baklava, all that sort of stuff. I'm definitely going to.
Dude, it's crazy. It's $1 for a beer at a beautiful restaurants in American dollars. I'm like, dude, I might retire here.
Really?
It's fantastic. They actually, one of a kickboxer, local kickboxer, my man Jovica, he gave me actually Macedonian fight shorts, and I promised I'd wear it in a wrestling tournament and post it on Facebook for him. But so, dude, my final question. Again, we're joined by Alex Volkanovski on Twitter, Alexander the Great. He will be fighting Mizuto Hirota. He is now becoming the Asian killer, Godzilla, this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern on FS1, the Mark Hunt, Derek Lewis main event card. My final question, I saw on your Twitter, Chuck Liddell is your hero, correct?
Yes, he was. Yes, I'm a big fan of Chuck Liddell.
Dude, are you tuning into a Chuck Tito, would it be a fourth, the quadruple rematch?
Well, if it does happen, I'm sure you have to tune into that. You know what I mean? Like, it's two legends, UFC legends going at it. But I'll definitely be tuning into that. Big fan of Chuck Liddell. Big fan of obviously the knockouts. And put it this way, when he started losing to that, I was devastated. I remember once being at work and my brother. This was straight after the Rashad Evans and his fight, and this was 4 days later. And he's still seeing me. I'm on the shovel and I was concreting, and he's looking at me, and I'm just shaking my head in disbelief. I couldn't believe,
Wow.
That's how much of a fan I was.
Dude, you are now the Australian Iceman, cold-blooded. You do it in your hometown. Do it again this Saturday night. This is WFAN's Outside the Cage. He's Alexander the Great. Thank you so much for joining me, man.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. And tune in June 11th. I'm going for the knockout.
Thanks again. And whenever you come through, we'd love to have you in studio if possible. And I'll have my wife make some baklava. Yeah.
All right, man. That'll be unreal.
Take it easy, brother.
Yeah, well, thanks. Thank you.
This is Francis Ngannou. You are listening to WFAN's Outside the Cage podcast.